Hello, I'm going to introduce my ASP site. So this is what I have. This is the blank front splash page, and here's the menu, and here are the links. It is a table, and it cascades when you roll over with your mouse. And this is just an example to show how it works visually. These don't go anywhere. The only page that works off of this front splash page is the register page. And this is my form, my only other page also. And it requires to be filled in correctly. So if I put in 1, 2 for the password and then something different for the second password field, try to submit, I'm not going to pass it. The condition for username is it needs to be at least 3 characters, so I can pass it with 3 characters. The password needs to be identical in both fields, so I could do 123 123, and the email, to check if it's real, it needs to have an @ symbol and a period, as well as a letter before the @ symbol, so I could bypass it by just doing that. Although that's still not a real email, that's good enough. And if I tried to pass it, I still can't. Any password arbitrarily chose 6 characters, so there we go. And I'm on to the next page. And that is not going to show you anything because there's nothing there yet. So behind all of this, that page register 2, which passed from register. Here's a code for it. It's showing the username, password, and email. It's really not doing anything. I'm just showing that I can get it from the request.form. Yeah. For the register page, here's a form HTML. There's nothing interesting to show there. The thing to show really is the on-click event for the submit button, which validates if it passes all the conditions. So the name of the text box for username is UN, and if its length in characters is over 2, so 3 total or more, then it will pass. UN verify, that just clears it. If it passes, then it's not going to show any red text error. Otherwise, it will. Here's a text error. Pass count is just a counter. If it passes every single if check, which is 4, then the whole method returns true and it can post into register 2. So I mean, it's really the same thing as it goes through. Very simple JavaScript here. Here it's checking if the text box for passcode is equal, like the same string as the other passcode text box, and if it's over, I mean, more than 1 character. So very simple logic here. This one was a little bit different. To check for the email, it's using a search field, if that's the right vocabulary for this programming. I forgot. forget what this is called, but it works for what I needed it to do. Just took a little bit of research. So that is the JavaScript which validates the form. Yeah. Okay. So the other thing I want to point out, got that cleared out. The other thing is the navigation bar here. I originally found this on a Microsoft page, and I took a couple hours looking at it, trying to understand how it worked, and I modified it slightly. What ended up happening was I had a style sheet and some JavaScript, not much, just two methods here, and the actual HTML for the navigation table. Now there's a lot here I could talk about, and I just really want to focus on what is happening, what is really happening here, which is your mouse goes over it and then a table appears. And if your mouse is off, the table disappears. And if you can keep doing this, see, you can just keep on making these new tables appear and disappear depending on where your mouse goes. So what's significant to point out here is what's causing these tables to appear and what's causing them to disappear. So to look at that clearly, you're going to want to see this is right where the table starts, and when you mouse over this table data right here, you're mousing over it, it's going to call this JavaScript function method expand, and when you mouse out away from the table data, it collapses. So that's what's causing this to occur. It's expanding and collapsing. So now just to explain the expansion collapse, right here, it's coming from menu.javascript, and here it is. Here are the functions right here. Now I'm passing this. Oops, no. I'm passing this into the function, which is table data. Okay, so I have the table data right here, and I am putting it into a variable, which is table data. And I am retrieving the div element from that table data, which is right here, and that's going to find menu zone, the class. Now it gets a little bit more complex here, but what this is it is changing the class of the div and the table data to a different class. That's all it's doing. Now, depending on what class it is, makes its display in CSS change. So right here you see if it's submenu normal, it becomes submenu hover for expand. So normal goes to hover to expand. When it collapses, if it's submenu hover, it becomes submenu normal. Now if it's not a submenu, then it's just menu hover, and menu hover becomes menu normal. So if we look at the div dot menu normal or div dot sub menu normal, right here in both instances, it's the same. It displays none. And that's for collapse. So I mouse over, it's expanding. Now it's going to, as soon as I mouse out away from the table data, which is the table, it is going to collapse. And that's what happens. Its display becomes none. Now when I mouse over, it is expanding, and that's hover. So display, table row, position absolute. Position is contrast into relative. It depends on things. I'm not going to try to explain it because I don't fully understand it yet. But perhaps that was sufficient enough information to explain why this navigation is working the way it does logically. I hope I pointed out the right points to point out. I think I did. I think that clears everything. Let me know if I missed anything or if there are any other questions you want me to elucidate about what I've developed so far for this webpage. And thank you for